into the first one. Hi, today, Jenny Rosenblum here of Jenny Reads, and I am talking with two very serious craftspeople who also write in the genre of gay romance. Both of these authors are appearing live at Coastal Magic this February in Daytona Beach. But today, we're going to concentrate on the views that they have about the evolution of how gay romance has come about. Now, Tere Michaels is here. She's from the tip of New Jersey. And she's an editor, plot whisperer, and author of over 16 books, ranging from Happily Ever Afters to her Vigilante series. Amy Lane is coming to us from California. She's written literally over 100, couldn't even count them. She writes fantasy, urban fantasy, gay romance. So in the details below this video is going to be their websites, their sales things, chance to win. We have a raffle copter going on starting today till Wednesday the 13th at midnight. Chance to win some of their books, so enter quickly. But we're going to start today with a few questions that we've all agreed on ahead of time, so there shouldn't be too many surprises. And we're going to start with Amy because it's earliest in the day for her. So Amy, over the time period that you've been writing, the last, 2 years, how have you seen the gay romance genre transform?
Well, in a way, awesomely. When gay romance first started out, a book was considered 20 pages and 2 sex scenes. And since then, the writers who had a background in romance and a background in English and writing kind of filtered in. They went, "Ooh, this is exciting. We can write in this." And what happened was you had urban fantasy gay romance and mystery suspense with 2 male leads, and those rules that made mystery suspense thrillers or contemporary romance with a het couple started to become more and more, this is what a romance is. This is what a mystery suspense thriller is. We are going to follow these rules. All we need are the only difference is 2 male leads. We don't need acres and acres of sex scenes to make a story with 2 male leads. We just need the romance and, whatever element or subgenre is also in there. And to see it go from the one in like 2005 or 2009 to you have got just a myriad of really good authors out there who write full books, fully plot developed, fully character developed, and to see it go from the one to the other is really, it's very gratifying. It's like I stepped on the elevator, on the bottom floor, and look how high this building goes now.
Great. Tere, what would you add?
I would agree. I think it definitely, I've been doing this for 15 years. It was just 15 years in September since my first book was published. And back then you had very few gay romance books where they were sort of grouped into the more titillation and sex stories. I will never forget seeing my first book, which is a romance with no on-page sex, show up next to Prison Stories 15. I was like, people are going to be very disappointed if they buy these 2 books. They are very different. But to watch Amazon understand that it's different categories, and when gay romances were reviewed in RT magazine when it was around, like to see the progress happen where it started with, we don't say that word out loud at events. You could just show up quietly, to being on the schedule and having authors be in the signing and teaching classes and whatever. It's definitely gone from this little tiny titillation group to this huge, you could do anything you want. Really, you could do anything you want.
Great. That's great. Tere, can you pinpoint any memorable moment or milestone that you felt like, okay, this is the big impact. This is going to affect the readers And it's going to open it up for the authors.
Well, to repeat it, when RT decided to start reviewing gay romance books, for a while they were in there, but they were sort of stuck in erotica, and we were like, well, not all of them are erotica. Speaking simply for myself, not all the books are erotica, and not all the readers want that. So if we're doing a little bit of everything, why don't we? And so when it got its own section, and reviews in RT were such a big thing at that point, in the industry, it felt like such a milestone to have your book reviewed in it, you know. And I think when we went from, you know, don't say anything, to actually being the magazine, I think that to me is the big moment, because it felt like nobody was whispering anymore. They were just like, hey, you want to read a book? Here it is. It's good.
Yeah. How about you, Amy? Do you have that one moment?
Rita nominations. When three authors were nominated for Rita's, back when the Rita was a big thing. It was the Oscars of romance, and they weren't nominated for gay romance. There was historical, and one was erotica, and one was contemporary. And they were just, you know, and we were up against everybody else. I was one of the nominated, and that was, for me, that was like, I am in the same room with so that was nice, but it was also the feeling that some of the ceilings were broken, that this was more and more mainstream.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So looking ahead, Amy, what positive changes do you still want to see? Is there like a specific aspect that you think could be enhanced a little bit more?
Let me see, a specific aspect. Oh, I would like to see, okay. Boy, this will ruffle feathers.
Go for it.
Okay. Kindle Unlimited lets so many good authors shine. I'm thinking specifically of like Gregory Ash, who is one of our best mystery suspense thriller writers. But it also gives way for mountains and mountains of AI dreck. I would like to see more of an awareness in readers that there is, you know, there's good, bad, and ugly, and they don't need to give the ugly any credence, is really what I would like to see. So many good authors have started out in Kindle Unlimited. We don't need the ones who submit 3 AI generated books in a day. I saw that Amazon had to draw the line that they could only publish 3 AI generated books in a day. And I'm like, okay, can we just not?
Right. How about none?
Yeah. You know, can we just run, you know, if this is 98% AI, can we just say somebody else wrote it? And, you know, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Or don't call it a book.
Right.
Call it a widget.
Yeah.
Call it Kindle Unlimited widgets and go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, they can make all the money.
I don't care.
Oh my goodness, they could pay widget farmers. It could be in its entire cottage industry, as long as they don't call it a book, and as long as that person goes, yeah, I'm not really an author. It's okay. I have to say, it feels kind of insulting to those of us who spend time and craft. And I know Tere has written craft materials, and I have written craft materials, and we both taught classes about this is what makes a story. This is not, you know, this is what makes a story good. And to have someone go, yes, I pressed the AI button 600 times, and now I've got a book. You're like,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And as a reader, I feel like my intelligence is insulted when, yeah, I'm there for the creativity. I'm there for the human touch. I'm there for the emotions I might not see, or the scenarios I might not have thought of, and to kind of peek into your minds, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as close to it's as close to telepathy as we get reading, is walking around in someone else's fantasies on paper. And to say, oh yes, we let a computer generate that. You're like, no,
Yeah. Terry, anything to add?
I would actually like to see more gay romance with adults as the featured centerpiece, being adapted into movies and television shows, or whatever we call streaming now, streaming shows. Everything has too many names. But I see that the YAs get a lot of attention, and that's great. But I'm 55, and it's very hard for me to spend 6 episodes being like, we love each other forever. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're 18. Cut that out. And so I really can't sink into it. And I would love, instead of the normal, something terrible happened, somebody's dead, which is what many gay movies about adults happen to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have a happy ending. Let's have a happy relationship. Let's have a rom-com. Let me just throw that out there into the universe. So I would really like to see that, to not just be the, and I'm not taking away from that. I think kids need that too, but I think adults could probably use it as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of us over 50, even over 60, who read a lot.
Yeah.
And we would like characters who represent us. And so the few times that I even get a character like in their late 30s or early 40s, it's like, yes, okay, an adult.
Yeah.
So,
I wrote a bonfires a couple years ago, and I just finished the 3rd in the triptych. And the thing was that these were, 2 guys almost 50, and they had teenagers and they had jobs, and that these things were, that they were part of their lives. And the idea that 2 guys would have to put aside making out because one of them was a police officer, right? The other one was a high school principal, and they had to actually go do their jobs. People were like, I love that. That was so original. I'm like, oh my God, that's life.
right, exactly. Yes.
Actual life. Yes.
Yes.
1000%.
Yeah. All right. I'd vote for that, and I'd read it. So, okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Coastal Magic is coming up. I've never been. You guys are experts on this. So as a newcomer, what kind of insights can you give me as to the diverse readership that gets there? And what's the prevailing ambiance, so to speak?
I will say that I always talk about Coastal Magic readers as the gold standard of readers, in that they are not, oh, I only read vampire novellas with something. Like a lot of people get very niche. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying some people get very niche. Oh, I only read this if it has this. Coastal Magic readers, they'll read anything. They have their preferences, but quite frankly, if you're on a panel and they find you hilarious, they'll buy your book. They won't even come over and be like, well, they'll just be like, what do you got? And that is, to me, just the gold standard readers. They love to read. And I think that the book club that DeLorean runs during the year, where readers try to read as many authors who are attending as possible, I think that just expands it. They just like, all right, that looks interesting. Oh, I never thought I would like that. And now I like that, or I have a new author. And that's my favorite thing about it. They are true readers. They want more books and more people to read who are writing good books. And because it's small, it sort of feels like an extended book club. Yeah, where people are browsing for their next 25 books. And that's essentially what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
People are, okay, the thing is that these people have been to a lot of book conventions. They've seen each other, they've seen us, and the readers there, like Terry said, are perpetually willing to be delighted. You know, when you sit on a panel and you say something funny, there is just the room will light up. They're like, oh my goodness, you know, that is, I'm here for authors who are as funny in real life as they seem to be in books. I'm here for authors fangirling over each other, because I did that over a Coastal Magic author last year. You know, they are there to be delighted. They are there to see real people who can do this thing that they really treasure. And that's fun. It makes the signing, I've never had a bad time at a Coastal Magic signing. I have never had a bad time on a Coastal Magic panel.
Wow, these
Yeah.
are my people, it sounds like. I can't wait to get
Yes,
there. 'Cause
you will enjoy yourself.
I read it all. If you give me a good character, a good story, I don't care what genre it's in. I just want the good story. And I have bought books just because I heard an author speak and went, man, if they write half as well as they talk, I'm there. You know, so
You'll get a lot. These are your people.
These are your
people at Coastal Magic. They will literally try anything.
all right. That's what I'm up for. So speaking along that line, Terry, who do you read?
So I tend to read a lot of everything, not because I'm just that open, but because I'm super picky. Because I'm also a developmental editor. My brain operates differently when I'm reading. My greatest praise of a book that I finish is no notes. And it's not always easy to find those books. So I love Ali Hazelwood, who defies everything that I say I don't like, which is first person, one POV. She does it, and I'm just like, that was amazing. Thank you. I love Alicia Thompson, who's also a rom-com writer. And I wander around bookstores for an hour to 2 hours just looking at books and checking. And, you know, a few people can recommend a book to me because they know me so well, but I read a lot of good rom-coms because I love a good, solid, tropey rom-com. You want to give me fake dating. You want to give me we hate each other, which I call idiots to lovers, because they're not exactly enemies. They're just idiots who haven't figured out they're in love with each other. That is my catnip. So those are two big ones. And if it's a weird book with magic and libraries, I will probably read it. I don't know why. It's a genre now, which is so weird to me, but I super love weird magic libraries. So yeah, but I'll read. Ali Hazelwood comes out with a book. I already have pre-ordered it. It is already in my hands, and I will probably finish it in a day and a half. And same with Alicia Thompson. So I'm always looking for good, solid, tropey rom-coms.
Okay. Amy, what about you?
Well, I'm a mystery suspense thriller junkie, but the range of that is wide. For a little while, I was entirely rural, so it was like Craig Johnson and C.J. Box, who are like the wilds of Montana and Wyoming, and I'm like, I've actually been through Wyoming. I was bored spitless. But I'm like, but these books make it look so exciting. It's like, well, I guess if I saw a bear, I would no longer be bored. But you know, so everything from Craig Johnson to Janet DeLeon, who writes these it's a trope. It's apparently a new trope, which is CIA operative in small town. Okay. Right. And this could be one of my favorite tropes of the last 4 or 5 years, because I have ripped through all of the misfortune. I have told them to my told all my friends about them. There's like 25 books there, and I am right on it. I will listen to a book in a day. I will find things to do around the house so I can finish a misfortune book. So, and there almost always has to be some sort of mystery arc. It can be very mild. It can be a cozy where, oh my goodness, there was a kiss at the end and also a dead body. But that is my catnip. And like I said, I do a lot of audiobooks. I listen to them when I'm walking or when I'm driving around. And of course, a good narrator. The Longmire books, right? So much better than the TV series, so much. Okay, but the narrator is Henry George Goodell, and he sounds like your old uncle telling you a story, and you love your old uncle, and he's going to make you feel just safe, even though people are getting dead.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting into audiobooks. I don't know. I read so much that when I'm on the treadmill or walking or whatever, I kind of like the silence. But lately I've been with the Coastal Magic. There's a couple authors that offered some audiobooks, and yeah, I got pulled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're like, no.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
a weird
during-
quirk. I have a weird quirk about audiobooks. I can't listen to them. I can listen to 30 seconds of narrator auditions when my publisher sends them to me, and that's pretty much the extent. I don't know why. Medication doesn't help, but I know a lot of people like roar through books like that. But I'm a fast reader, so I would rather have an actual book in my hand.
Well, I think for me it's the ADHD for the audiobook, because I am always multitasking with them. I'm doing the dishes, I'm driving, so it's always that that secondary task is the following along with the plot, or knitting. I also know that my husband and I, and this started during COVID, right, where we would listen to the same series or the same authors so we could discuss them, because God knows everybody needed something new to talk about. Which is where my infatuation with the Longmire books came about, because we both liked them and we could both read them. And my husband loves that I write books. He has no problems at all with my genre. He loves all my friends, but he's not going to read my stuff. So the fact that I was like, here, it's a male narrator and it's heterosexual, he's like, oh, good.
Yeah, we do it on road trips because I get motion sickness, so I cannot read in the car. But yeah, when we do road trips, which is about 3-4 times a year, and it's sometimes I find though that I can't. I get shiny things going on, and I'm reading road signs, and I've missed what has happened. And but it is nice to have then somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of good things. So Amy, what have you got coming up next? You recently had something released. Yes.
I did. I accidentally wrote an extra Christmas book.
Accidentally.
It was truly an accident. The neurodivergence in my family is strong, and I've had to really work to not spend all day at my desk, because that breaks my body. So I try not to do this too often, but I had finished 12 Kittens of Christmas, which came out last week. And I have a series, the Granby Knitting series, and I have a Patreon. And in my Patreon, I will write the occasional ficlet or series, little mini series, and people go, oh, Jeremy and Aiden, I love them. So in the Granby Knitting series, I had written a wedding, and it was about 12,000 words. And I emailed their publisher and said, hey, maybe we can put this out as like a novella, just something small. And she goes, well, we've got a birthday in this series. We've got a wedding. We've got, it was like 2 other holidays, right? And then she goes, why don't you just put together a Christmas ficlet, something small, and we'll make it 20,000 words. Well, 60,000 words later, with a brand new set of characters in this world, I had 2 Christmas novels, and one of them had been written in about 28 days. So like I said, I don't do that to myself much anymore, because it's bad for my actual physical person. But so I have another Christmas book coming out on Tuesday called Weddings, Christmas, and Such. A new Granby story.
Okay. Okay, Terry, hate to put you on the spot after that, but
Well, something similar happened to me this month. Book 2 in my Broadway or Bust series was supposed to come out this year, but it swelled from novella size to 150,000 words, and it's not finished yet. And so it might be 2 books. I don't know yet. So I was just getting very stressed out, and I was like, I really would love to have a book out this year because Snowmageddon was 2 years ago. And so while talking to some friends about their beloved Hallmark movies, we were watching some, people make little reels about them making fun of Hallmark movies. And I found one that was hilarious. And there was one line in which the woman goes, well, you would like me to go to your parents' house for Christmas? Sure, I'll just have my unnamed, worker take over the bakery for me during Christmas. It'll be fine. And I was like, I would like to hear a story from the unnamed bakery person who now has to run this woman's business. By the way, she's never coming back because it turns out the guy's a prince. So she's never coming back, and she's just leaving her business with this woman who's like, where's my boss? She disappeared. She might be dead. So I got this idea, and it actually works as a preview, sneak peek in a new series that I'm self-publishing next year, which is mixed couples. It's het couples, lesbian, gay, all centered around a town that seems very magical but might be cursed. So it's called The Love Broker. And so this book is sort of your introduction to the town from the point of view of a person who cannot get out of it quick enough.
Okay. All right.
I love it.
Okay, ladies, that's a ton of stuff. Amazing. I don't live in your world, but I do like visiting. Entertaining. Thank you so much for giving me this time today. As I said at the beginning, look for all the sites down below. Check it out, enter the giveaway, and thanks for watching today. And if you got time, stop by Daytona Beach in February and see if it's all live and in person.
We'll be here.
Bye.